Welcome to the Hobby Jogger Podcast, where elite athletes and ham and eggers lace up their stories. We explore the common ground that running creates, from the world-class runner to the hobbyist hitting the pavement, trail, or treadmill. Expect a blend of inspiration, laughter, and the shared joy that makes every step count. Join us on this journey where every run is a story worth sharing. Thank you for joining us for this episode of the Hobby Jogger. I am Casey Koza, your co-host, who is once again joined by Mr. Rob Myers. Rob, how are we doing today?
Doing pretty well. It's finally warming up down here in the southeast. I think we hit 80 degrees, so I'm not trying to rub it in, but man, it was nice today.
Hey, I ran in shorts and a t-shirt yesterday, so there's nothing to rub in, my friend. I was out there living life. I don't think I will be living that same life this week, but at least I got a day in. So
Hey, you get a day, you get a day, right? You got to enjoy it when you get it.
That's right. That's right. Now, Rob, our guest today, we've mentioned numerous times on the show. He's local here to me in Akron. He is, I guess, the namesake, we'll say, of Project Outrun Aiman. Not to bury the lead there, but our guest today is Aiman Scullion. How are you doing today, Aiman?
I'm doing great. Thanks for having me on.
Yeah, I guess I should have asked you how to pronounce the last name, since I've never asked you that before. Is it Scullion?
Yep.
Perfect. Awesome. See that, Rob? I got it first take.
I'm impressed. That never happens.
No, I might actually be the first. So, yeah, good on me for today. Things are going well so far. So, yeah, thanks for joining us, Aiman. Appreciate it.
Yeah, happy to be here.
Yeah, it's been a long time coming to get you on the show. There's just you've always done something new and cool that was like, oh, I'll wait till after he does that, and then I'll have him on the show. So, yeah, I thought, this would be the perfect time. Even maybe should have done it earlier, but here we are, right?
Yeah, finally getting it in.
Yeah, finally getting it in. So, yeah, appreciate you joining. And, yeah, you're a local guy here. When did you move to Akron? I don't think are you a local? Did you grow up here?
No. I went to Kent State, and then after graduating, I think I was in Kent for about 2 more years. So maybe like 2015 to 2016, made the jump to Kent, or made the jump from Kent to Akron.
Okay. And did you run at your time at Kent?
Yep. Was a track and field and cross country athlete at Kent State.
Got it. Okay. I didn't know that. Didn't know you were a Kent alumni.
Yep. Golden Flash.
Now, did you grow up in the area?
I was born in Morocco, and then we moved to the States when I was 10, and we moved to Salem, Ohio. So did middle school and high school in a small little Quaker town, Salem, Ohio, and then went to Kent after that.
Oh, nice. Salem, Ohio. I believe I've driven through it maybe a couple times. I don't know that I've spent much time in Salem, Ohio. So you moved from Morocco. That's a big move.
Yeah.
And you were 10, so obviously you probably weren't. I don't know what the running scene is. Is there a youth running in Morocco? Is it?
If there is, I never saw it. There's a government run program where I've heard there's a running van that drives around in a lot of the poor neighborhoods, and they see soccer is very big in Morocco. They see a bunch of kids playing soccer, and they will take them into the van. I believe they test some specific markers, and if they score high on those, they talk to the family and say, hey, we're going to give your kids a better life. And they move to this running academy where they're just training, eating, sleeping, doing all the things, and maybe getting a government stipend. And I assume the family probably gets a little bit of money as well. I don't know how popular that is, but kind of similar to the Kenyan camps, but maybe a little more organized by the government.
Got it. Yeah. Holy shit. That's Jedi testing, like the midichlorians or whatever. They're just yeah.
I know all the like fast mid distance guys from the 90s are a product of that. I guess I'm not sure if they still do that, but yeah,
Okay,
I was not a part of that.
got it. Yeah, that's wild. I've never heard of something like that, but I guess it makes sense. You
Yeah,
probably get a pretty good idea of, looking through the DNA of someone of what their capabilities, I guess, could
But
be.
that's pretty wild.
yeah,
Like vans driving around, clocking people. I see somebody at a 6 minute pace, and they're like, "We got something special for
yeah.
you." Come on.
Free running
uh,
shoes on the side of the van, huh?
yeah, it's the it's a version of the ice cream truck, but there's no ice cream in there.
Yeah, just a needle to pull some DNA.
Yeah,
Wow, that's wild. I've never heard of that. That's pretty interesting. Pretty wild.
yeah.
Okay, so you grow up in Salem.
Yep.
I imagine you ran in high school in cross country there since you ran at Kent, correct?
Yeah, I had a slow start. I was again, I my first love was soccer. So I love soccer. I was probably just like a mediocre soccer guy, and but I loved it. So I started out most of my athletic beginnings was soccer related, and running was, the punishment for uh whatever you did wrong. So I didn't really like running, and I didn't start in high school until my sophomore year. So yeah,
Got it. Okay. Yeah, soccer, that's my first passion as well. And yeah, it was didn't really like running. Like, just knocking the ball around and you knock one across the field and you have to run and go get it. You're like, geez, that sucks, man. And now
exactly.
it's like, oh, let's go run 20 miles this Saturday. It's
Yeah,
sounds fun. Yeah. Yeah, whole different world. So I didn't know you were a soccer player. Yeah, it makes sense. Growing up in Morocco and coming over here and cool. So you ran, went to college, you ran, and what brought you to the longer distances? What got you interested there? Because I know you've run some pretty far races.
just a little bit of curiosity. Um, I guess I think at this point the marathon 50K distance is probably my best distance, and I really am interested in getting better at the longer distances. So it's just something new, I think, for me, and moving from the roads to trails, and trying to figure that out as more of a track/road background.
I know it's obviously I follow trail running mostly, or I participate in it, I should say, and it's starting to see more road guys come over. And I know there's a ton of differences. In Rob, but I think we're actually seeing one of my theories come true here. Aiman, the footballer, uh, you know, now trail running, because I think it does take a different level of athleticism, Aiman, to run trails than it does roads. What's as someone, you have a much different view of this than me. What is your opinion on that?
When it comes to like,
Well, because you have road runners, right? And I just think there's just and they can just run straight for, at the threshold pace, and that's it. Whereas I feel like trail running requires a whole different level of athleticism that maybe you don't see in road running, and road runners don't get exposed to.
I guess my opinion is a little bit, I would say I think it's a little stubborn, and it sides with, I think the fitness is fitness.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I I think you just have to keep coming back. I think a lot of guys, they move from the roads and try to run something longer, something on the trail. It doesn't go right off the bat, and they don't try it again, or maybe they try it one more time, and they give up. I think the floodgates are going to open with these guys. So far, it hasn't really translated. I think it will eventually, and you'll see fast road guys go into longer stuff, it's going to be a little more seamless.
Got it. So I see what you're saying. You can't just do all your training on roads and then hop over to a pretty competitive 50K race on trails with some elevation and just think you're going to be able to finish the same place like as in a marathon that you would is in the 50K, correct? Is that what you're like kind of?
I think that's coming, and I think it's there. It's just the examples are so little that most guys fail. I think the more the guys try it, I think there'll be more success.
They just need a couple more at bats.
Yeah.
Got it. Okay. Yeah. I tend to agree with that, I think.
But there's levels. I mean, there's levels. Yeah, I think at the elite level, Aiman's 100% correct. But I think when you get down to even some decent runners, the hobby joggers, the middle pack, towards the front of the pack, I've known quite a few people that were just, ride or die road runners, never get on the trail. And you get on the trail with them and they just completely fall apart, But at the elite level, those guys that just athletic, low heart rate, they can just haul regardless of the terrain. There's probably a little bit of time to adapt, but at the end of the day, being elite is elite.
Yeah. I think a runner with a high running economy is going to be good at running regardless of.
May not be the same pace, right?
Yeah.
And obviously terrain's different. You're going up and down punchy hills, lots of climbing, but it's two different sports.
Yeah. Yeah. And that leads us to Aiman here, who recently took a crack at the Black Canyon 100K. I was there to see it. You were doing awesome until you weren't. I mean,
to take your Strava title, it was going well till it didn't. So,
yeah, I mean, I guess, that's trail running. Like sometimes that happens. So what made you, first, let's rewind a little bit. What made you want to take this shot at Black Canyon 100K?
For me, most of the time when I'm picking races, I'm picking one that's highly competitive.
Yeah.
So when I picked Black Canyon, I saw that it's most likely the most competitive 100K in the US at least, and kind of want to go and see what that's all about.
Yeah, I don't think that's even a slight exaggeration. In fact, I think you're spot on. It almost certainly is the most competitive 100K in the US. I struggle to find anything that's has a tougher field. So you really did just jump into the deep end there. You didn't, it wasn't a local race. It was, and maybe the world, and Will's going to fact check me on that. I'm going to have 36 text messages on Tuesday morning of, other 100Ks that are more competitive. But to me, I mean, I think it is. So this is my show and Will's opinion doesn't matter.
Yeah. I mean, just going off the lists of people who were there, I'd have to say, it was pretty big. Now, the day of the race, I feel like a lot of people went for it, like me, and didn't have those days, or didn't have the day they wanted, but made it for a really interesting race and obviously a very fast one up front.
Yeah, for sure. It was definitely fast. Take us through the beginning. Let's start out with the first 12 miles of the race. It being your first, very competitive race. Like I said, you just jumped right into the deep end. What was going on in your mind during that opening bit?
So like many others, I wanted to be aggressive, but not crazy, and just kind of move my way up. And I think the first 12 for me went really well. I think tracking was all over the place, but I think I was right where I wanted to be in like that top 20 or 30 overall. And in my head, I think I'm capable of racing really even. So my plan was to, and I know this is very hard on this course, is to even or like negative split, or at least I went in with that mentality. So the first 12 miles, focusing on taking nutrition, not going down on the trail.
Good plan. Yeah.
Kind of trying to keep that front pack in check, even though they were pretty gone like 3 miles in.
Yeah, they were. Were you surprised by that? Like, I know you're expecting, you signed up for the toughest race, but were you surprised at the speed those guys went out with the first 5K?
Hey folks, if you're loving the stories, tips, and laughs we're dishing out, make sure you don't miss an episode. Hit that subscribe button so you're the first to know when a new episode drops. And hey, if you've got a second, why not leave us a review? Your feedback helps us improve and keeps this running community growing. Lace up, hit subscribe, and let's get back into the show.
Not really, because when you're in the race, and especially on that trail, it looks like they're not that far ahead.
Yeah.
So I wasn't seeing their splits. Had I seen their first like 5 miles, I think I would have been more panicked. For me, I was like, well, I can still see the pack. Or I can still see, whoever was falling off that pack for quite a while. So I was like, I'm in the right spot.
Nice. Yeah. And Rob and I ran 20 miles of the course this year, so I'm familiar at least with the 12. And Rob's ran the 50K, 60K back when he ran it. So you can see quite a far distance. I was worried though, Aiman. Because all we have to go on is the cell phone tracking. I can't see who's who. I think I might have texted the group like, hey, what's he wearing? It was like white shirt. It was like, well, that was
everybody's wearing a white. Yeah, everybody's wearing a white shirt.
That was stupid of me to ask. I figured, yeah. So yeah, I'm flying blind. I have no idea where you're at. It's like, and like you said, the tracking's all messed up.
I think my crew said early on, they said I was in like 70th place. And if I was, it didn't feel like it.
So I was like, oh man, obviously I had an idea in my mind of where you should be, and 70th place was not that. After the 19-mile checkpoint, I don't think you were in 70th place for sure, because then you get to Bumblebee and you have significantly moved up the field.
Yep.
You were, I don't remember, like top 20 for sure, right?
I believe so, yeah.
Yeah. And that's a cool experience, I think, because I was there last time Rob and I were there. I was there for the leaders to come through. A little bit probably different than a marathon going through the first water station, I imagine, right?
Completely different. I mean, I expected it to be less exciting, and it was way more exciting. And the crews and the media coverage, and it's cool because you get to kind of just take it in a little bit more. You don't have the blinders on like you do in a marathon. At least for me, I could look at somebody and not really know who they are. You're just in the zone where you get to take a little bit more of this, especially at Bumblebee, because you're not having to worry about catching a rock and going down.
No. Well, you should be worried about always going down on that course, but
yeah,
into it. Yeah, you don't want to catch a cactus in the face. But yeah, we talked a little bit after, but that was one thing I was really excited to see, was you come through Bumblebee and just the amount of people there, the amount of spectators, fans, your crew. Did you have a tough time finding Nikki and your crew? Because it's kind of chaos. You're coming through with a lot of people.
They parked themselves at the end of the crew section, where very close to where the red flag is.
Got it.
And there was nobody there. What I had a tough time with, and it was not really a big deal, I got there and I was like, well, do I like run under this structure? I'm not used to that. And so I was like, this seems like it's the wrong way. But
you've never run a marathon that goes through a bar?
No. So I was a little confused there, but I was like, well, just keep going.
Yep.
And they were right there. So in that first crew spot was it was perfect.
Got it. So they were after the bar that you run through.
Exactly.
Okay. Got it. Yep. I know right where they were at. Because I think we saw them there the following day, maybe, for something. But yeah, so that's cool. So you get to the first crude aid station, And I know, Rob and I, being out there before, we've got to witness how happy everyone is at Bumblebee. The level, like the energy level, very high.
Oh, Bumblebee's awesome. And it probably has the nicest bathrooms of any aid station. I mean, come on.
Yeah, it
It's
does.
just a nice spot overall.
Yeah, really cool place. Just you're like on a ranch, which is pretty sweet. And so you get to the crew. How were you feeling at that point? Because you look pretty good.
I felt great. Nutrition's going down really well, which I wasn't worried about, but just curious how it would go because I just haven't really run 100K distance before. Was a little worried about cooling, so I think at that point I started cooling, and I felt great.
Then you go up, big climb. And I know previously you and I had spoken. You ran a race over in Switzerland. You actually, for being a quote unquote flatlander here in Ohio, you enjoyed the climbs over there, correct?
I think I enjoy climbing more than descending. So that next climb was kind of welcome. And when I looked at it on all the maps, I thought it was going to be tougher than it was, at least at that point.
Yeah, not that steep, but pretty long. Like it is a fairly long climb, which we don't, unless you have a treadmill, you don't really get to experience here in Ohio. I think I remember correctly, you picked off at least a few people up that climb, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's where you kind of started moving through the field.
Yeah, there was a couple guys. I think there was a couple guys that were walking, and in my head, I was like, this far up in the field and 20 miles in, and they're walking. Based on how I felt, I'm like, well, I think I'm in a good position here. Yeah, just started picking people off.
Yeah, and that gets to be a tougher part of the course for sure. Like it's it's rockier, a little bit narrow turns, technical, I guess is the word I'm looking for there. But you enjoy the technical trails as opposed to, the smooth, buttery first 20 miles of the race, correct?
Yeah, I would consider myself pretty good on technical trail. It seemed good at that point. I was good.
Yeah, yeah, and you get to Black Canyon. We're there when you come through Black Canyon, and big group. You picked up the pacer there. Decided to go with the pacer, and you seem to be feeling pretty good. Everything you looked a lot better than the 4 or 5 people that came in front of you. And I know, and Rob will agree with me here. You see a lot of sad faces at Black Canyon at the 50K mark. You see some people like, oh shit,
A lot of people close to death. I mean, I'm just walking through.
You see some really sad faces at that aid station. But you were, I mean, it could be your game face. I don't know. But you seemed like you were moving very well. You seemed good. Everything seemed to be going, your way, correct?
Yeah, so pick up Alex Phillips, my pacer. He's like the most of the guys in front are looking really rough. And the crew
I would agree with Alex. Yeah.
The crew said that as well. And I didn't really pay too much attention to that because I was like, well, they're just trying to hype me up so I can keep moving well. I was just trying to focus on continuing to get the fuel in and just really keep the heart rate down at that point.
Yeah. And that's important because it's starting to get hot. The sun's overhead, beating down on you. It does, and you're getting down further in elevation. So it certainly warms up pretty quick at Black Canyon from the beginning because it was freezing, I think, at the start. And so by the time you left Black Canyon, it felt pretty warm, and the sun makes it feel for sure warm, right?
Yeah, I mean, I could feel the heat kind of creeping up, and I could feel it, that I was aware. Got cooled off at their crew spot, and I wasn't too worried about the heat at that point. So it seemed like it was manageable.
Yeah, and your pacer didn't seem too worried about it either. I don't think Alex took a water bottle. I think he took a phone and his shoes with him. I'm not sure.
He is super new and super minimal when it comes to accessories and fuel.
Yeah, for
Hold
sure.
on one second. No water bottle. Did I hear that correctly?
I I I'm thinking he didn't. I don't know.
And on top of that, his footwear choice. Brooks Launch, very blue collar road shoe.
Yeah, Alex is he's a one of a kind trail runner. He fits the bill perfectly. Yeah, it was fun to watch him on Sunday too.
Yeah, he had a good day.
Yeah. So you leave Black Canyon. I know I ate afterwards, talked to you a little bit, but you started picking a couple more people off.
Yeah, and then I found myself running in between two guys. Not sure who the guy in the front was who was doing all the pace work. But the guy behind me, I recognize was Sage, who is a veteran. And I was like, oh, so there's a guy in front of me doing all the work. I got Sage behind me. I'm just gonna sit here. I just sat there.
Yeah, good plan. I mean, Sage, he's, interesting fella, been in a lot of races, and certainly experienced enough to be hanging with the front pack. So yeah, good call, I'd say.
Yeah.
So making your way up a little bit further into the race, it wasn't too much further after Black Canyon, correct? Did you make it to the next aid station?
I was getting close to the next aid station, and out of nowhere, my groin I did something to my groin. So at that point, I walk it into the aid station, try to stretch the groin, get some fluids. I had 2 500 ml soft flasks full. I mean, I really didn't need anything, but I was trying to problem solve what was going on with my groin, which just popped out of nowhere.
Yeah. That was going over a cattle gate, correct? Was that
I think it happened before. It happened on flat right before the cattle gate, but I tried to. I had just kind of hopped over most of the cattle gates, and that wasn't. I had to kind of hang on to the rail and like gingerly walk over.
Man, that's tough. You do all that work, really, I don't want to say survive, but you ran very well the first half to put yourself in a position to move forward, and have an injury pop up like that. That's not from like going down or, just like a groin pull essentially.
Yeah, it was tough. And I mean, I thought maybe I could walk for a little bit, and I tried to, and I thought, maybe this isn't serious. And so I walked for a little bit, and I could just feel it when I was walking, and there was just no lifting. My right leg was not happening. I did some math, and we were right around like 38 miles, and I could probably hike walk another 8, but it was going to be a lot more than that. So I at that point decided to call it.
Yeah, live to fight another day. Sometimes it's not your day, and you got to sort things out. Have you got it sorted out? Has the groin been sorted out since, or?
So I took a couple of days off, and those days I could feel it when I was walking through the airport. When I got back, saw my PT, and the day that I saw him, that morning I woke up, I felt fine. I ran that day, and I could feel some tightness and tenderness. May not have been as serious as I thought. I'm still not sure.
Yeah.
I take the rest of the week kind of easy with some cross training and running, and then the next week I jump back into the type of training I'd been doing leading up to this race. So that's been a little bit frustrating because I don't know where I'm at this point. So, but I am happy that I'm not injured. So
It's a terrible injury too. I mean, especially for runners. It's just a constant. You move your legs. Doesn't matter what you're doing with a groin pull.
Yeah.
I mean, there's some you can kind of push through, you can run through it, but that's not one of them, in my opinion, at least the ones I've experienced.
Yeah.
And as someone with a history of groin injuries, I can tell you there's nothing you can put on it or should put on it for that matter. I learned that lesson the hard way, using Ben Gay on a groin pull, and it didn't go well.
No, not a good idea, Casey.
Yeah, I was like 15. I wasn't experienced in the world yet, so I learned my lesson, and tough injury to deal with. And glad you're back and okay, and excited to see what you have on the horizon or what's next, because you just hopped back into the training. I saw you had a couple longer runs since then. What do you have plans for?
I feel like I need to see where I'm at fitness wise. So I've been looking. I reached out to 3 races. Glass City. So I'm signed up for Glass City Marathon in Toledo. Cleveland Marathon as a backup if I'm not ready for Toledo. And then I had a buddy who was signed up for Mad City 100K and is not really where he wants to be. So he was going to see if he could transfer his bib to me. After I really looked at that race, I don't think it interests me. I want to go back to Black Canyon. So as soon as registration's open, I'm signing up. And then I'm most likely going to run Toledo just to kind of get a check mark of like where I really am. I think I'm probably in very close to like marathon PR shape for me. So I need to kind of know.
Yeah, and you certainly put the mileage in, and glad you want to go back to Black Canyon. That's always a good sign in an athlete when, it's not like, oh, that was too much for me. You hate to see that. So really excited that you're excited to go back to Black Canyon. Is there anything that you would change? Is there anything that you learned that you took away from that?
I've kind of gone back and forth. I've had days where I'm like, I don't think I would change anything. There's just so many variables, and there's just some things that are out of your control. I think overall, if I want to be competitive in trail running at that distance, I think I need to just have more trail 50K or trail 100K races under my belt. And I think that's it.
Yeah, for sure. Experience is, invaluable, especially in this sport when it comes to fueling and just problem solving. You're trying to, solve problems on the go. And the more times you do it, the more, I remember when this happened at this race and here's what I did, type thing to fix it. So yeah, I'm super excited that you want to go back. It's no problem ever getting me to go to Phoenix in February, huh, Rob?
Nope. I'd say number 2 race. We got Canyons in 2 months. Just saying, I'll be out there.
I looked at Canyons. It was just, it'd be, I think it'd be a tough turnaround. Black Canyon was a big trip, and Canyons I think is definitely in the future for me after I get Black Canyon right.
Nice. Glad to see that. Yeah, and I know you've run some trail races here locally, Buckeye, and the sweatshirt you're wearing, Loop the Lake.
Yeah, Loop the Lake is a race I ran to kind of see where I was at. And in hindsight, I ran really fast there, but I probably should have found something that was not on the roads, maybe more technical as a see where I was at race.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah, a little bit different terrain, I guess. Because you got to compare apples to apples. Probably helps a little bit in that sense. Now, one thing I wanted to ask you about, Aiman, while I have you here, I know it's crossing over a little bit. Project Outrun that you're involved with. I know we've had them on the show before.
Yeah,
we got their from how they do it and have done it and came up with the race. How did you get involved with Project Outrun?
I was at another local 5K that Project Outrun supports. I had the idea, which Andy is implemented in his race, in my head, and I was going to do something in Highland Square area. And I told him about my idea, and he kind of ran with it and was like, "Hey, can I use your idea?" And I was like, "Absolutely." So I don't hear from him for a couple of months, and I get a call, and he's like, "I need you to be involved." And I was like, "Yeah, I can come, volunteer, run, whatever you need." He's like, "No, I want you to be the guy that everybody outruns." So I was a little taken back and kind of like, man, that means, I gotta stay in kind of shape year after year as long as this event's gonna happen. So, but it's for a fun cause, and or it's for a great cause, and it's a fun day, and it's just a really nice group of people to work with, and Andy and Courtney both work really hard to put that event on that day.
Yeah, they're awesome. I appreciate their time coming on here to talk about it. I think is that the only episode I've cried in, Rob? I think
That might have been a second one, but
might have been.
no,
Yeah.
I think that was the only one. Yeah, it was awesome.
Nothing wrong with crying.
No,
Nope.
absolutely not. Hey, I have no shame in the fact of hearing the story of it, of crying. No, that's
Yeah, there's a
absolutely.
reason I was on mute so often. I mean,
Yeah. No, everything that they're doing, I think is awesome. Helping kids battle pediatric cancer takes a special person to do.
Absolutely.
And such strong people, because I mean, the outcome's not always what you want it to be, and
Yeah.
you got to be there in the tough times as well as the joyous times, and that's just a lot of tons of respect for the people that work in the pediatric cancer wards, in all first responders,
Absolutely.
but especially the pediatric cancer wards and people that work in peds in general, that what they have to see every single day is, you see miracles, but yeah, they're not always miracles, and yeah, hats off to them.
Yeah.
Now, I know this isn't, since we're talking about shoes, I know, you're down there at the Second Soul. You're one of my local resources
Yeah.
for shoes. Stop in often to see you there. You had an interesting choice of shoe, I thought, for the Black Canyons, which you really like. The Adidas. I'm going to get the name wrong, so I'm just going to let you say the shoe you wore.
Adidas Ultra Speed Agravic. I'm not sure if it's in that order, but yeah.
Yeah, that's probably closer than I or Rob would have got, I imagine. Right, Rob?
I can't make those sounds with my mouth.
Yeah. So, and it's the second version of the shoe, which I actually didn't, until you told me you were going to wear it, I didn't even know it was out. Because I didn't care for the first version of the shoe, but you really liked the shoe. I saw you in them yesterday. We do a lot of shoe content here. So what's your take on the shoe after the Black Canyon? Would you wear it again?
I would probably have to think about that one. I still love the shoe. I think it felt great on half of the course that I ran. I think the sections where you're doing these like 100 and I can't even say 80, 100 and like 95-degree turns.
Yeah. You're riding a vert pipe is what you're doing on some
Yeah. And right after that, there's a patch of rocks that looks like somebody just placed there. I would probably go with something like the Hoka Rocket X or the Nike ACG Ultrafly. Ian, our Nike rep, just gifted me, seeded me some Nike Ultraflies. So I do have something I need to try out. They seem to be probably a little more stable, and on that train, maybe probably a better option. And I think I've tried the Hoka Rocket X in our shop, and it feels pretty similar. So maybe if I go back, I'll pick something that's not quite so I would have to say aggressive.
Yeah, I agree with you on that. I only know the first version of the shoe, and I wore it down at, sand run, my normal loop down there on the trails, Dogwood Trail. And I was like, if I wear this shoe, I'm going to break my leg. Like there's just
not super stable.
Yeah, not super stable, but it's different shoes for everyone. I mean, just because I say that means has no bearing on anybody else. So I certainly get that, every shoe is different and shoes fit different people. But yeah, I just thought that was interesting. I didn't really pay attention to anyone else's shoes there.
I did for the 50K. I saw a lot of the Ultrafly, and maybe just because it's so bright. And I did see a lot of Rocket X's and the other Hoka shoe that
the Tecton 3?
The Tecton 4, 3, 4.
Oh, is there a 4 now?
3.
3.
Now I can't remember.
No, it's not I really like the 2. I wish they'd still sell the 2.
I have the 2, so it must be the 3 with the sock sleeve that comes up a little bit.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the 3. That is, and I actually really like that shoe. It's pretty stable, and yeah, I like it. So yeah, it's interesting getting your opinion on that and seeing what your thoughts were on the new Adidas shoe. Which you don't carry it at Second Soul, correct?
We don't. We just opened our account with Adidas, and it might be a shoe we'll carry in the future. So yeah, we're in the process of bringing Adidas back to our shop.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah.
I need to get a pair of, what is it? The SLE? Man, Rob, I'm so bad with names. Is it the SLE? Like that's like their everyday trainer?
Oh, the Evo SL.
Evo SL.
Oh, yep.
They have a Bob Marley colorway I need to get.
They're doing really well with the colorways on that shoe.
They do. Yeah, it's awesome. Maybe I'll stop down there tomorrow and see if you guys can get me a Bob Marley color, because that's my guy there. I like Bob Marley, so
nice.
Yeah, but yeah, Aiman, thanks a lot. For coming on here. We certainly appreciate your time, and it was awesome watching you there at Black Canyon. I was pumped the whole time. You were training. Things were going well for you. It seemed. I don't want to say I was disappointed in you because you did. You got injured, but I like that you're hop back on and take another swing at it.
Absolutely. I mean, as long as I'm healthy, I'm gonna try to make that my spring A race.
Nice. Yeah. So we're rooting for you. We will definitely be out there participating in Project Outrun this year, because I know I do not have a wedding to attend that weekend. So I will be out there for Project Outrun, and maybe we'll do another episode on that before, Rob.
That's a good idea.
Get them as much as we can, because it's a cause that is near and dear to my heart. So thank you for your participation in that, Aiman, and hopefully I can beat you. Maybe you might need to have 2 beers though. 2 thirsty dog beers at the last.
I'll see.
Yeah. I'll buy one. How about that? I'll buy Aiman a second beer there. So give me a chance.
That's a deal.
Yeah, to get through there before you. So yeah, thanks again so much for your time, Aiman.
Thank you guys for having me, and thank you, Rob.
Yeah. So Aiman, before we let you go, where can our listeners find you?
You can come down to the local running shop I work at, Second Soul, or I'm on Facebook, Aiman Scullion, or Instagram, Already Aiman.
Thanks for tuning in to another episode of The Hobby Jogger. We hope you've enjoyed our conversation today. And if you liked what you heard, don't forget to subscribe and leave a review on your favorite podcast platform. Your support keeps us moving forward. Until next time, keep those feet moving and enjoy the mile.